Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a chat on empowering your students' creativity and empowering student voice with choice. You'll leave this chat today with strategies for fostering a creative environment in your classroom and tips on employing student choice to support all learners. As we go along, the Buncee team is here to answer any questions, so please feel free to ask anything in the YouTube live chat box, and definitely engage in discussion in the Edmodo group or ask any questions there as well. So to introduce myself, my name is Francesca Arturi, and I'm a school relationship manager here at Buncee. Brian will be one of the Buncee team members answering any questions in the chat or in the YouTube Live. Through my experience working with Buncee schools around the world and with like-minded partners such as Edmodo, we've witnessed the power creative outlets have on encouraging student potential. From stories of first graders using Buncee to independently create research projects, to English language learners finding confidence teaching others how to use Buncee, we have come to know that creative freedom can lead, and often does lead, to student success. You'll see this as well in the stories I'll share throughout this webinar and in some of the key strategies I share too. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Buncee, Buncee is an award-winning cloud-based creation tool. As you'll see throughout the webinar, Buncee offers a wide variety of media tools for creating digital creations. This includes, but is definitely not limited to, digital stories, lessons, artwork, posters for your classroom or the library, and even digital business cards and more. These creations can be multimedia works with audio recording, video recording, drawing, graphics, photos, text, really all different media types to communicate in a variety of ways. You can see some of these examples sliding through here as well. So our vision, our goal is to provide everyone in the schoolhouse with an easy-to-use creation tool. We believe anyone should be able to creatively communicate, and it's truly awesome when we see principals engaging with the parent community using Buncee for newsletters, while at the same time, educators can use Buncee to make lessons, students create stories to demonstrate their learning. So our goal is to really be a one-stop shop for all schoolhouse communication needs. But we truly know we've reached our goal when we hear stories of students being empowered, regardless of age or ability, as creators using Buncee to demonstrate and share their learning, ideas, and their personal stories. So now let's talk about creativity, why we're all here today. What does it mean for all of us in education? And why is it important to foster this in our classrooms, our schoolhouse, and within our students themselves? So I took the time to look up creativity in the dictionary and look up its exact definition. So you'll see that creativity is defined as the ability to create or the quality of being creative. So I dove a bit deeper for the definitions of create, and some of those definitions include to bring into existence something new or to produce through imaginative skill. Now, as we all know, we're in a time right now of great and fast-paced change. And as we also all know, problem solving, idea generation, and thinking outside the box are skills that our students will need for success beyond the schoolhouse walls. Creative freedom in the classroom also empowers students to take ownership of their work. They're actively engaged, leading to deeper learning, and in turn, successful learning for the future. So we know deeper learning and creative thinking, problem solving, are keys to getting our students future ready. And that's why we're here today to discuss strategies for fostering creativity in our classrooms. So to recap, we know creativity in the classroom supports future-ready skills, active participation leading to greater engagement, authentic learning, and builds student confidence. So now some key questions. How can educators foster a creative environment in their classrooms? And what are meaningful ways that schools can integrate creative tools to enrich the learning experience? So we've come to know that one way to do so is by incorporating technology to provide freedom of choice for expression. Technology allows students to choose the medium for communicating and expressing their ideas. Students can practice communicating orally, visually, with text using technology in one tool easily and really from anywhere, whether they're at home, the library, the classroom, or traveling. So on the next slides, you'll see stories from educators in our community and ideas for integrating Buncee with Edmodo. I'll be sharing 3 stories in particular, although there's many more, each with key takeaways and strategies for bringing creativity to your classroom. So these are the 3 educators whose stories I'll be sharing. The first is from Tan. Tan is an E&L educator and blogger from Laos who uses technology and creative choice in his classroom to reach those hard-to-reach students. The second is from Rochelle and her high school students. Rochelle is a high school Spanish and STEAM educator with a background in instructional technology and a passion for integrating tech in the classroom purposefully. The third is from Katie McKay. Katie is an educator with a passion for empowering students as storytellers, building them as authors, and for producing writing to authentic audiences. So we'll start with Tan's story. Now this story highlights how creative freedom can enable for differentiation in the classroom, in turn building student confidence. We were honored to receive Tan's story on Twitter one day of a random tweet, and then we got the opportunity, as you can see in this photo here, to have a Skype with Tan to learn a little bit more about the story of how Buncee empowered his selectively mute student to speak. As we know, integrating technology should be done purposefully. In this lesson, you'll see with Tan's classroom, the goals for integrating technology were to foster communication skills with various media types and produce visuals of learning to demonstrate student knowledge. In Tan's classroom, the lesson's focus was on the production of an argumentative text. They had reached the extended writing phase of an ancient civilizations unit, a parallel English unit connected to humanities. The students were required to write an argumentative essay that evaluated how the social systems of Athens, the schooling systems, the laws, and the domestic responsibilities favored Athenian men over women. So Tan was going to teach the argue text structure to his 6th graders, who needed to then write persuasively. However, there was one student who he just didn't know how to reach. This student was in need of some differentiation. He was a selectively mute English language learner. He had not been able throughout the school year to successfully communicate verbally. So Tan needed to engage him in a different way. He needed him to also, just like the other students though, be at the same level of thinking, evaluation, and description as everyone else. But Tan was really not even able to fully grasp if the student was comprehending the units at hand. So as any educator, and everyone here, I'm sure, watching, has had to do at some point, Tan employed creative thinking to see how he could reach the student. He had heard of Buncee online, actually on another blog, and thought to see if Buncee's wide variety of media tools could reach the student. As you can see in this photo here, the student took off with the tool and was able, as you'll find out, to successfully complete the project and more. He was able to build confidence. Here's a photo of his Buncee, and I'll show you the actual Buncee in a second. But you can see that the creative freedom Buncee provided was exactly what the student needed to communicate his understanding. Once Tan explained the differentiated task to the student, he left him to explore Buncee and see all the media tools. So then he went to go work with the other students. After the mini lesson he had given the student, he came back to check up on the student's progress. So now let's go take a look at his actual Buncee here. So this is his finished product. Now simply using text and drawing, he was able to finally demonstrate his learning to Tan. This student had not written anything prior to creating this Buncee. So now you can see here, he's already written some one line of text, and throughout the Buncee, he wrote even more text. At first, Tan wasn't sure how the student was going to be able to take to Buncee. He tried to encourage him to use some different media tools, stickers, but this student was set on using drawing alone. However, then Tan came back with 5 minutes left in the class and visited this student again to monitor his progress. To his surprise, he saw multiple lines of text, and now the pictures made sense. He was communicating a scene that described how men in Athens spent their time. Now, though this Buncee is simple, the Buncee canvas demonstrated, 1, that he understood the text they were reading in class about ancient Athens, 2, that he comprehended the task at hand, and 3, that he was a critical thinker with an artistic, creative mind. So Tan was now able to know that he grasped the unit of study. So while knowing the student was comprehending the lesson was certainly a key benefit to this example of tech integration, as you can see in Tan's quote, What really was a special benefit was the boost in the student's confidence. Through the visuals he created on Buncee, the student now also felt capable to communicate and participate in the classroom learning. And after this lesson, what's really awesome is the student then moved on from writing some lines of text with Buncee in the English class to producing extended text with various ideas. Tan shares with us that through using his voice in the pictures, he built confidence that would not have been able to happen without Buncee. So what are the key takeaway strategies from this story? First, provide creative freedom to all students, and it can allow them to communicate their understanding. Second, we see that technology provided choice of expression, which in this case and in many others is a key for differentiation. And third, differentiation can increase student confidence and, of course, in turn, student success as they feel capable to grasp all the units at hand. So our second story comes from an awesome educator, Rochelle Poth. This story is also of Rochelle's students as well, though, and it highlights how creativity encourages active participation and increases student engagement. Rochelle found that as our students created, they connected with the material, leading to deeper learning and deeper understanding as they connected with the content. As always, Rochelle starts with the learning goals before integrating technology. As Rachel has shared with us herself, she always asks before integrating any new tool, what is the tech tool going to do that makes it better for students, that helps them to not only retain the information, but enables them to learn in a different way? In this case, Rochelle was implementing technology in her language classroom to foster problem-solving skills, language acquisition, and the ability to visually display knowledge and learning. Rochelle found that through creating on Buncee, students not only learned the content, but learned about themselves and their peers in the process of creating and sharing the work. Rochelle shared with us that she wants students to be able to apply their learning on higher levels, of course, not just regurgitate the information. Rochelle uses Webb's depth of knowledge as a guide. This guide shows us that we want students to move beyond the simple recall and to extend their learning, applying it in different, unique, and authentic ways. Students need to connect the content material with their own lives, leading to higher learning potential, as well as increased intrinsic motivation and student engagement. So we're a student-focused company, and this is a student-centered tool. So we wanted to share some student viewpoints of how creativity in their classroom allowed them to succeed. Rochelle shared some feedback with us from students who had been hesitant to use technology or who only were sticking to one digital tool. So the first bit of feedback comes from high school senior Jorge. Here he explains how using Buncee's media tools to create engaged him in his learning. Jorge is an avid fan of technology. He seeks opportunities to go out and speak about the tools that he uses in the classroom and why he finds them beneficial. You can see here he used the tool to make a guide on maintaining good health in a Spanish classroom. He explained the steps visually. As you see, he says he was able to draw, choose animations, and add videos using the Buncee creation canvas. So he explained the content visually as well as with writing. Now, Rochelle provided him the freedom to choose how to create this guide, fostering a classroom of creativity. Our next quote comes from a high school freshman, Gloria. She found that using images along with text reinforced her learning of the Spanish language. As you can see here, she used photo as the background of her Buncee, and also our graphics library along with text to create her content. In this quote, she described herself as a visual learner, and Buncee provided her the tools to create visual representations of her learning that she can now access from anywhere. Marisol is another student we heard from. She's a high school junior, and she touches on something that we too often overlook: fun. Here she says, while using Buncee, everyone can enjoy the process of creating. And if students are enjoying their work and are able to make it their own, then they'll be more willing to learn and will improve because of using Buncee. So she found the process of creating to be enjoyable, increasing her motivation to learn. We need to make classroom environments a fun space to ensure we can have enriching learning experiences for students. So some key takeaway strategies from these stories. The first, implementing multimedia tools and choice of expression to empower visual learners can reinforce language acquisition and retention. We've also seen some other examples of this, of how visuals have really benefited students' retention in using Buncee for test preparation. I'll share one example now of how a 5th grade classroom used Buncee during their human body unit, in which they were presented with vocab words for each body system. Here, I'll go over and show you that actual Buncee as well. So here's their Buncee on human body vocabulary. Students were asked to create these Buncees, each with the vocab words for their definitions. They were free, they had the creative freedom to choose backgrounds, stickers, and animations that they felt best illustrated each word. Students were able to visualize the content as they created each slide. They searched for the perfect graphics and which revealed the knowledge students were gaining and the level to which they were understanding the content. You can see an example of that here as the students define the word cells with text, as well as with our animations. These students had Buncee and they were using it for their test preparation. This helped them to retain the information as they had to search for visuals to define the words, and the educator shared with us, and we were super honored to hear this, that this resulted in higher test scores compared to the previous year on their test for the human body vocabulary. Now, the other key takeaway strategies, though, are offering opportunities to create, promotes active participation and engagement. And then third, when students create artifacts of learning, they connect to the content and in turn have fun, which obviously increases motivation and enjoyment in the classroom. So now we have our third story. This comes from Katie McKay, an educator who is passionate about using technology purposefully to empower students as authors. Her story highlights how storytelling to authentic audiences encouraged these kindergartners' growth. Katie has found that schools under high stakes pressure for testing often leave the integration of technology for remedial work or practice that truly could easily be done with paper and pencil. And you can see that in this quote here from Katie. As you'll see in the story she shared with us, the use of Buncee and the QR codes gave these young students the tools they needed to deliver their true intentions and stories to a broader audience than just the classroom or just the teacher. In this case, the local community was the audience that they reached, and they could not have done that with just paper and pencil alone. So what were Katie's goals for integrating technology? In this unit, her goals were to grow kindergartners' students as authors and to publish their work to authentic audiences and to build student agency as they built confidence sharing their stories. Now, in this case, it was a local community that they presented their work to, but using technology, what's really awesome and what we found is that you can publish your work globally. You can take your Buncee, put it on Edmodo, connect with another classroom around the world to then publish your work to an authentic audience from another country. So here are some photos from this example in this lesson. These photos came from a community space. They were posted in a local store in which the students shared their work with the community. Katie worked with educator Shirley Miller to help them publish the stories from their own lives. And this demonstrated to the students that authors could use drawing and writing to record and tell stories. You'll see next to each of the students' drawings a QR code that was generated within Buncee and also links to each student's Buncee. Shirley chose to add the digital element of QR codes to ensure that her kindergartner students' stories were clear to the reader or listener. Kindergartners' skills in storytelling and composition developed orally first. So the QR codes, each linking to a Buncee, allowed the students to be heard with audio recording. Now this helped the readers appreciate the details in their drawings and the intention in their spelling and writing, connecting them with the individual young author's work. I'll show you one example of this as well. So here's one of the students' Buncees.
Me and my mom went to the store and we bought dog food, and then we saw another dog, and then we took it back home.
So aside from this audio obviously being very adorable, Buncee helped their voices to be heard and appreciated in this prominent and respected community space. So here we have a quote from one of the parents of this classroom at hand. She shares that the publishing of each student's unique story fostered excitement and student agency, but as we can see here, she notes that it was not just a celebration of her own writing, of her own daughter's writing, it was a celebration of everybody's. She found that her daughter was not only excited about sharing her own personal story, but now she's excited and inspired by her peers to write more and have a future in authoring and writing. So some of the key takeaway strategies we have from Katie and Shirley Miller's story. You can use technology to build oral storytelling and writing skills at any age. These students were only 5 years old, but they were publishing work as authors to the local community and building confidence. You can provide students with an authentic audience for creations to encourage student agency and engagement. And when students connect to the content, in this case, there were stories of their own lives that they were sharing, they feel a sense of work in their purpose and increase motivation. So what these stories, Tan's of student success through differentiation, Rochelle's of student engagement, and Katie's of empowered student authors, all three show us is that to teach effectively, we really have to reach and connect with our students. Students all come from different backgrounds, expectations, learning styles, and abilities. What we have found and what these stories show us is that providing creative freedom and choice in the classroom is a way to reach all students, no matter where they're from. So the Buncee community, the community that's been built around Buncee, and these are some of our ambassadors from around the world. They're all innovative and student-focused educators with a passion for fostering creativity. And these are some of the stories I've shared with you today. They're always sharing stories with us and ideas. So I definitely encourage you to connect with them on Twitter or on Edmodo for following Buncee or by following the hashtag BunceeChat. But we are really, truly honored to play a part in any child's success. So we're really excited now to hear from everyone today, what their stories are and what their creative classroom ideas are. So definitely please share with us in Edmodo in the group page, share with us on Twitter, email us, whatever it may be. We're really excited to help you guys on your creative journey as well. But we're also now thrilled to be a part of the Edmodo community. This is a student-focused duo, so it's very exciting. And using Edmodo and Buncee hand in hand, you can implement all of these key strategies, really, that we shared today for fostering creativity in your classrooms. One way to do so is by publishing students' Buncees to authentic audiences on Edmodo and sharing them with classrooms around the world. Here you can see an animation of this in which Annie has shared her Buncee. And now to do so, you just copy and paste the Buncee link and pop it into Edmodo. And within the Edmodo platform, you can comment on each other's work to engage in peer review or connect with a classroom from around the world. But additionally, you guys can connect with each other, of course. So share ideas with fellow educators. We want to continue the conversation beyond the webinar. So definitely share ideas for empowering students with choice and creative freedom in the Edmodo group as well. So as our way of saying thank you for the work you guys do to empower students and in an effort to help start your creative classroom journey, the Buncee team is happy to offer you guys a special today. So there's two offers. One is for individual classroom subscriptions. So individual educators can sign up for Buncee Classroom and you can use this coupon code for $15 off an annual subscription. Now, if you have any questions on doing so, you can reach out to us, but truly you just have to go to buncee.com and you can select either Buncee Classroom Lite or Plus. And then you can check out using this coupon code, which is just one word, Buncee Creativity. Again, if you have any questions on that, reach out to us and let us know. And just be sure to activate it by February 3rd. For any schools and districts users, we are offering a 1+5 deal. So Buncee for Schools and Districts is our product built for schoolhouse-wide or district-wide adoption. And for you guys here, we're offering one free educator subscription for every 5 purchase. Now, I'll show you how you just contact us essentially, and we'll talk more about the deal with you guys. But before I go more into that, I want to hop on over to the creation canvas to get you guys a glimpse of course, how to create on Buncee, but as well a more in-depth look on how the educators' stories I shared were really implemented using the Buncee creation tool. And this will get you guys a head start on your students' Bunceeing and your Bunceeing as well. So I'm going to hop on over here. And now I'm in my Buncee account. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview of the Creation Canvas. For any further questions, contact us, of course, and we offer webinars all the time, so we're happy to help you guys get started. Now, once you, let's say, activate that coupon code for the annual subscription, you'll be taken to your classroom dashboard, which is what I'm looking at right now. So to get started creating your Buncee, obviously we click Create right here. So now you can click on Create Buncee V3, and we are getting started to create. Okay, so you are first shown this window in which you can actually choose from hundreds of templates, all different lesson ideas to get started. So if you want to get started not just with a blank creation canvas, but maybe with something pre-made and then add your personal touch beyond that, you can search through. We have cards, we have lessons for language learning, math, but I'm going to just go straight to starting from scratch with a blank creation canvas. So this is where the magic happens. This is the Buncee Creation Canvas. It's the same for you and your students. This is how the students, store Buncee that I shared previously. This is how they made their work. So to get started, you can click here to pick a background. Now we offer a whole wide library of backgrounds, but you can also upload your own photo or choose a web image or a solid color. In this case, I'm going to make a story about stars. So I'm going to choose this background here and drag it on. I'm going to give you a glimpse at some of the media offerings that you have to choose from. So you can access the media library choosing this plus button in the top right. And now here are all your media tools. So you have text, shape stickers, drawing. These are all different graphics you have access to, different emojis, animations, pre-made stickers. These blue circles are all different web searches. We offer Khan Academy video web search, YouTube web search, and those are both filtered. You also have access to panorama images, which are great for virtual field trips, and web images that are all Creative Commons licensed, so they're appropriate to use in the classroom. You can also upload your own content, PDFs, photos, MP3s, GIFs, copy and paste a YouTube here, link instead to pop it in. Now this is what's really awesome is that right within the Canvas, you can also record video yourself. Students can as well. Or you can take a photo using your device's camera. You can also generate a QR code as we showed with Katie McKay's story right here for the Buncee. And then as an educator, I could pop in quizzes into my Buncee as well. So let's say though I'm a student with this star story I'm going to write. I'm going to click here for text, drag it on, double click to edit. I'm going to say my star story. Whenever you have an item selected, at the bottom are all the editing options for that item. So I'm going to change the font, and we do offer a font called Open Dyslexic. This has been shown to help dyslexic students, the way the letters are weighted. And I'm going to make this text bigger, change the color, drag the text box. Okay, awesome. So now at the bottom here, you'll see audio, which is how Miss Miller's students and Katie McKay's students were able to record their voice into the Buncee. So at the bottom, you can click this yellow microphone icon. Say, this is my star story. I hope you like it. Awesome. So now I can attach my audio to this text, just as I did in Katie McKay's class. I could move it around, and there we go. Put it in the top left. To access the media library again, I can click this plus button. I'm going to go to shapes. So these are all different shape stickers, great for geometry lessons or for designing your Buncee. We actually have a star shape here, but in this case, I'm going to go for square. And I'll drag it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this banner essentially behind my text. Now to relayer items, you'll see at the bottom, I can push item to the front or to the back. I'm going to push it to the back. So now it's behind the text. Go back up to the top right. Now we have a whole library of animations that we're adding to every day. different science-related animations, dance stickers, all different kinds. You can search up in the top here. And if you ever have any requests for animations or stickers, you can let us know. We do have an in-house design team, and we can work on trying to get that added. So I can choose one. I could also choose more than one if I wanted, and drag it on. Move them around. And there you go. I'll go back to the top right. So generating a QR code is a pretty simple process. You just click right here. And so now if I were to download this Buncee and print it out, I scan the code with the QR code scanner, and you can access anything digital. So to add another slide, I can click here. And now I have a slide added as well, just by clicking this plus button on the left. I'll click this plus button here to access the media library. I'm going to show you guys some panorama images. Students really love these. They're awesome 360 images. I'll look up stars, choose one I want, and drag it on. And a fun tip is if you make it as large as the entire canvas, it looks very neat when you're in preview mode, panning the 360 effect. I'm actually going to go back to my first slide because I want to add a web image here. So I click the plus button in the top right. As I mentioned, the web images are all Creative Commons licensed. So I click here. I can search for shooting star. We have all different photos you can drag on. I like this one right here, so I'm going to click it and then drag it on. Make it bigger. You can also change opacity for items. So at the bottom, you'll see the editing panel again. I can make something more opaque or leave it as is. So I'm going to add a title up top here. Say My Star Story. What's awesome and even offers more creative choice is you can resize your canvas. So I can click here. So you're not only beholden to this presentation size, if you will. You can make a square Buncee. You can make a banner size Buncee and rotate it to be a bookmark. You can make a letter or a poster, print it out and put it on your classroom wall. Or even business cards. We have a lot of educators who use Buncee to make business cards, so you can use that as well. So now that I've done, I've given it a title, I can preview. Obviously, there are other media tools, but I just want to give you guys a glimpse of how some of those educators use Buncee with their students. I can click here to listen to the audio. This is my star story. There we go. Go to the next slide. Click here to load the panorama. This is pretty neat. You can pan for the 360. There we go. And now anywhere you can share a link, you can share Buncee, you can embed it, you can email it. There's all different options. But if I go back to my dashboard, which I can right here, and click Buncees, you can see all my Buncees here. I can go back and edit them at any time, access my account from wherever I can access the web. So you can always see your Buncees right here and go back and edit. You can also see your students' work wherever they're creating their Buncees in the Classes tab. So you have a window into what they're making, whether that be at home, in the class, in the library, wherever it may be. So that was just a quick glimpse of the Creation Canvas. But if you would like a more in-depth look, we offer webinars. You can also contact us. And now contact us as well with Brian's email, from Brian@Buncee or Francesca @Buncee. And that's how you can get more information about that Buncee for Schools and Districts offer of 1 educator license for every 5 purchase. But reach out to us with any questions. We're here to help you guys get started on your creative classroom journey. As well, we have a live help chat. So 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Please chat with us here. Ask us any questions. We have students ask questions as well. So we're always accessible, whether it be via our emails, our phone, live chat, or shooting us a Twitter, reaching out to us on Edmodo, whatever it may be. So thank you guys so much for joining us today, taking the time out of your Sunday. Thank you for Edmodo for having us as well. Please reach out with any questions, ideas, or stories like the ones I shared today. And we will be continuing the conversation in the Edmodo group, so hang around there and we will answer any questions. Have a great Sunday, guys. I hope you guys share with us your awesome stories. Can't wait to hear them.